Record. Hey everybody, it is June 17th and it is our second team call of the month. This is the one that we do at noon to clear up our nights, especially in the summer. I think it's best that we keep the schedule so that we can have obviously a great summer but keep it productive. We have an awesome call today because my dear friend Fran Azel, Diesel Nation coach who just recently achieved the very important rank of 5-star diamond, is going to be sharing her story and what it looked like for her to achieve that goal. And I'm really excited because I want to hear it. I want to hear what went on with her team and with her mindset in order to pull this together, because 5-star diamond, you'll learn, is an incredibly important rank. It's when you get a substantial quarterly bonus. It is when you're introduced into the round table, which is the leadership page of the network. I mean, just lots and lots of amazing things happen in your business when you hit 5-star, including that you've now developed 5 diamond coaches, which is awesome. And that shows leadership. It really, really shows leadership. And so we're going to learn from Fran. But before we get to her, which I don't want to take up too much of your time, but just a few announcements. Number one, Summit is now like 4 weeks away, you guys. I can't even believe it, but it's right around the corner, and it's now game time to get ready for Summit and everything that goes on to make that an event that is very memorable and very exciting for the coaches on our team. That starts with our luncheon, and by next week, I need a firm head count for the Diesel Nation luncheon. We have about 300 registered already, which is like mind-blowing that we're gonna all be in that room together. And I need to know by next week our total. So if you haven't bought your ticket, or perhaps have a personally sponsored coach that hasn't bought his or her ticket, please encourage them to do that, so that I can get with the caterers and just finalize these plans so that it's smooth sailing the week of Summit. Second, the red night. And bear with me, if you're not going to Summit, you're going to have to learn this anyway for next year. But the red night, the night that we all wear red, that happens on Saturday, okay? Right before the final celebration, we will meet. Don't worry, we communicate when we're at Summit to take our big team picture and then just walk into the stadium, Lucas Oil Field, and enjoy that nice, that beautiful celebration night at Summit, where the Beachbody Challenge winners are announced, where elite coaches, premier coaches are all recognized. It's just a fantastic ending to Summit. So that happens right before the red picture, where we will encourage our whole team to come in red. Don't stress out about this, you guys. You can come in jeans and a red top. Some of us do dress up that night. You don't have to, but just show your team spirit. You'll see a lot of teams in their colors, so it's really nice that we come together every Summit and take that picture. And this year we're going to change things up. It's going to be exciting. Then Veronica, it was like perfect timing, just posted in the Diesel Nation Summit page. So first of all, if you're going to Summit and you're not in that page, you need to be in that page, because that's where we communicate. That's where people say, oh, I'm here, can we meet up? Or anybody going to lunch? Or where are you guys in the super workout? That's where we communicate. So make sure you're in that group. She just posted that she's going to create for us 100 red tank tops. Now, there's over 300 people going to Summit. So if you want one of those Diesel Nation red tank tops, those are going to be worn at the super workout. Now, I know there's I'm pretty sure Amy and Fran with Team Titanium are going to maybe have their own shirts. I know Diesel Core is going to have their own shirts. But if you want the Diesel Nation red tank top, whether for the super workout or for any other time, any other workout, or just hanging out, go now and reserve that tank top. I actually just did it. You need to go to the Google Doc, reserve your shirt, and then go to Cash App and send Veronica $20 with your name so that you have your shirt. She's going to be giving those out at the Diesel Nation luncheon. So there you go. You have to be at the luncheon to get your shirt, so that it's smooth for her to hand those out. So thank you very much to Veronica, who's handling those shirts, and it'll be fun to watch everyone at the super workout wearing those. And on the business side, so now we're switching gears from Summit to the business side. Remember, the summer sale continues with challenge packs being $20 off. We also have our team challenge, where we've challenged you guys to share our entire product line and then ring the bell in the Diesel Nation Rising page when you help someone with a challenge pack, with a bod subscription, with whatever it is. And then at the end of the month, we're going to tally who rang the bell the most. And there's going to be some pretty sweet prizes, including a one-on-one mentorship call with either myself, my sister, maybe both of us, or any other Diesel Nation leader that of your choosing. I've just volunteered everyone to do that with me, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And just ring the bell, you guys. Let's get out there and help people get started. I think that if we all broaden our horizons on all that we have to offer, that you will see your business start to grow more organically, and Success Club will just be a natural result of that mindset. I truly believe that. So let's dig in and let's make that happen. And then lastly, we're gearing up for Morning Meltdown 100. Who's excited for that? I know I am super pumped. We do have some time, because yes, next month is really when the packs go on sale, right? July 1st, all the challenge packs are going to go on sale, but we don't get to start the program until the end of July. So I don't want you guys to kind of get into analysis paralysis about that launch just yet. Like, we have plenty of time. Utilize the sale, and keep in mind that whoever purchases a challenge pack from you this month will get the discount promo code to purchase MM100 next month. So don't hold back this month simply because we have a launch next month. Does that make sense? Game on, right? We got to continue helping people. I'm using the term summer meltdown just to tie the program already into my marketing. I suggest that you do the same and get your challenge group filled with amazing new customers. And then we are going to provide you the Morning Meltdown 100 Diesel Nation launch plan this week, but note that there's nothing like that I basically had to create. Beachbody did such a great job with this launch that they even created for us the pack images, which is amazing. Like, I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to ask Marco to do it for us. They're there. They have also a PowerPoint that is in your back office that literally walks you through step by step this program. So I'm not creating anything. All I'm going to do is just put it in a Google Doc and ship it off to you guys so that you can launch this program for you and for your teams. And then we will be scheduling a call with Maddie, who from our team that was in the MM100 test group, so that we can get a coach's perspective on how to launch this program and what's going to be effective in doing so. Okay, that's it. Now I'm turning it over to Francine Azel, who recently accomplished 5-star diamond in her business. She is a leader of our team, and I want you to take it away, Fran, and inspire us.
Thank you, my friend. I miss you. And by the way, I'm loving your shirt. I agree 100%. I want one. I'm still in one of those, it's been a few weeks, but I'm still in a little bit like, is it me? I'm pinching myself. It's something that I've been working really, really hard for a really, really long time. And, Amy and Christy and Becky, they're like, okay, well, what did you do? And I'm like, oh my God, I have to sit down and really reflect on what are those tweaks that I made. So I think the best way is for me to just go back a little bit, because I'm not sure how many of you know how I even got started, but I've been around for a little bit. It's been almost 5 years next month. I did not buy a package whatsoever, no Beachbody anything. My husband's the one that the typical, infomercials, wanted P90X, literally in bed at midnight. And he's like, hey, Fran, will you do this with me? Because if you don't do it, I'm not going to stick to it. And I said, sure, fine. I wasn't really sure what I was signing up for. I already had a personal trainer that I kind of sort of would go 3 times a week maybe. Was seeing a little bit of results, nothing major, and even gave my husband a hard time about Shakeology. I literally tried it. He ordered chocolate. I hate chocolate. I literally grabbed the bag, threw it out, and thought he was wasting his money. It wasn't until way later that a friend of mine convinced me to drink it just for a few days. And because of my thyroid issue, certain things were, coming out nice and smoothly. My hair was growing back, like little things that started happening that honestly is what attracted me to Shakeology. But again, it wasn't until my friend convinced me to drink it consistently. So that's something that I feel that whenever I have a customer, which does happen every once, I'm like, I don't like it. I am convinced there's something in Shakeology that you have to drink it consistently for a few days to actually like it. It happens to me with every flavor. But just that's how I was. Long story short, of course, I was doing it consistently. P90X, my husband stopped doing it. I was the one that was getting results, and I was doing this relay race with 12 people. And at the last minute, we're doing a 200-mile run. At the last minute, one of my people backed out, like literally the night before. And a friend of a friend's like, I think I know this girl, Amy. She'll do whatever you ask her to do. I literally met Amy at 5 o'clock in the morning. Hi, nice to meet you. We're going to be in a bus together for the next 35 hours. And she just kept hearing me throughout this entire relay. Every time we would have a break, people would be like, Fran, what are you doing? I see your muscle. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm doing this thing called P90X. And turns out the Shakeology thing actually like works. I don't know if that's what's helping me. So she, of course, kept asking me to coach. And I'm super introverted. Even if you see me in a social scene, I'm usually the quiet one. I'm observing everyone. I am a classroom teacher, but that's like my space, right? And so I kept telling her, absolutely not. I had this picture of me running after my friends and family, like buy something from me. And I was like, no, that's not for me. I'm just a classroom teacher. That's my thing. And I kept telling her no. She still makes fun of me because a friend of hers convinced me to become a coach, and I became one of her friends' coaches. Later on, she dropped out, so I'm one of Amy's personally sponsored coaches. But I was the kind of coach that dabbled with it. I was the kind of coach that, I don't know, I wasn't keeping up to date with things. I kind of sort of would like listen to what was going on in Titanium. Diesel Nation was like taking a sip out of a fire hydrant, in that, you know, Becky and Christy were like this, like, oh my God, can I talk to them? Can I touch them? I was just like starstruck. I'll never forget my first summit. I don't know how Amy convinced me to do this, because I was totally like, I'm not going to that summit thing. That's just a little too rah for me. And I went to my first summit, and she very intelligently decides to sit me with her they have like the special seating for elite during like the big stadium seating. And so just imagine for me, it was like a concert. Like you see Michael Niemeyer and Carl Deichler on these videos, and every once in a while on a call, but to actually see them, like I can touch their feet. I always think Christy and Becky, who were sitting in the same row, they must have looked at me like, who is this chick? Because I was like, I must have been like, I don't know. I can just imagine what my face looked like. I was panicking, but at the same time, I was starstruck, and something sparked in me there. I felt the energy. I felt the fun. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. But now that I look forward, because that was 4.5 years ago. Now that I look back, I think one of the biggest things somebody must have said at some point, are you interested? Are you committed? I was very interested in coaching, right? After a while, I saw, Amy doing well. And of course, I'm seeing Christy and Becky, and I've gotten to know them and fall in love with them and just their culture. And I was interested, but I wasn't necessarily committed. I thought I was. I thought I was working really hard in all these hours, and I was working full time as a teacher, and then coming back and schlepping my kids everywhere with sports. But I wasn't really committed in putting on that CEO hat and reflecting and being as consistent in those important actions. I was consistent in doing my fun little selfies and my videos, but that was pretty much it. Like, I don't understand why, if I was posting all the time, why am I not getting all these challenge packs? Why am I not selling so much? And recently I heard, and I'm terrible at quoting people, but recently I heard someone say, having this Beachbody business, actually committing to this Beachbody business, kind of like having children. You can't just you give birth to them, you can't just pat them on their head and like, okay, do your thing. As a mom, as many of you have children, but whether you're a parent or not, you know that it's not just, this is the kind of values, the kind of parenthood, the kind of raising I'm going to be doing, right? Because as many of you know, we have the best intentions. We have plans for our children. We think we're teaching them the right thing. And then, I don't know, they become teenagers and you're like, where the heck did that come from? That's not what I taught you. So it's a constant reflection and course correction. And I feel like that's my business is the exact same thing. I can't just sit there checking things off my list. Yes, consistency is important, just like child rearing, but I have to reflect on maybe what works with one doesn't work for the other. Same thing with your business. You have to constantly be really intentional, really like, where are the areas that I can improve on? Who can I find that's really good in that area? And maybe repeat or maybe follow some of those things. Now, Amy hates when I say this, and a lot of coaches I'm sure hates when I say this, but me getting to 5-star was a little bit of luck. I'm going to be honest. I feel the same thing about child rearing. It's a little bit of luck and a lot of the fruits of my labor. I had to be intentional. I was realizing that I was working really hard, but I wasn't working really smart. I realized just like I said, interested versus committed. I realized that I kind of worked every day doing a lot of stuff, but just not on the important stuff. I maybe was inviting here and there. When it came to inviting to my team, that was probably the very last thing I ever did. I maybe did it once a month, and that was because somebody was doing some sort of coach opportunity call. It wasn't part of my social media posting. It wasn't part of my daily invites. It wasn't part of really intentional invitation. And I started to realize that when my kids were going through sports, I had all kinds of really great excuses. We're busy, right? Especially when you have a full-time job. When my kids were graduating, whether from middle school and now from graduation, when my dad passed away, I have not missed a single month of Success Club. And I don't want to make it about Success Club because I am one of those that cheers anything. When you connect a customer to one of our solutions, I can give 3 shits whether you got Success Club or not. I am your biggest cheerleader. But when it came to what I was trying to do, there were certain earmarks that I wanted to hit, I needed to be a little real with myself. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, the accolades are great. Yes, of course, having a nice little bonus is great. Having those connections that I'm now making as 5-star is great. But I'm not gonna lie to you, the little carrot for me was the leadership retreat. And it sounds so silly, but Amy took me to the leadership retreat the last couple of years, and last year was the time that I turned to her and say, I will no longer be invited to this thing. I'm gonna earn my way through this. I don't hell or high water. I'm going to do this shit. I don't know what it is that I'm going to do. So when Christy and Amy as well, and Becky, when you guys are asking me, what are those small shifts that I made? I have to be honest. I had to sit down and really think back to what were those tweaks that made it for me. I've talked a lot about smarter, not harder. I had to invest back into my business. And that's what most business owners do. And I had to be real with myself and say, okay, yes, I'm spending money on Shakeology, but I'm still making more, obviously, than just what my expense was Shakeology. So a little bit of that needs to go back to finding help. So I did that with finding someone to help me with my social media and finding help with just silly tasks that just anyone can do, whether it's adding people to my social media, whether it's sending the same old happy birthday, those kind of things that take time out of our lives. I needed to find help, and I found it really easily and very cheap in using Fever. I had to make sure that I was much more intentional in my actions. By that, I mean, I am the queen of checklists. You tell me to invite, I'm going to invite. You tell me to make a friend, I'm going to make a friend. But I wasn't really investing in those relationships. And it wasn't until I read that book, Get Over Your Damn Self. I swear that I put it away because I had a mess on my desk. But that is the one thing that when I talk to people, I have right on my desk. It's not that I use scripts because I don't typically use scripts, but it was really about finding what it is each person needs and what it is that we have. Because the truth is, I think most of you have realized by now, we have the solution to most people's problems, whether it's physically, or even spiritually, whether it's mentally, we have the solution to most people's problems. So if that is the case, what was I missing? So I literally invested in a tiny little notebook, and every single time I talk to someone, and yes, I put them on the damn phone and I talk to people and I ask them, what is your story? What's going on with you? I don't care if it's whether I'm trying to talk about something fitness related or joining my team. I want to hear, what are those pain points? Is it money? Is it, you know, a self-confidence? Is it consistency? What is it? And I literally draw, I have their name on the top. I put maybe a few things, a mom, you know, maybe she's a busy attorney, you know, maybe a couple of little bullet notes. And then I literally draw a line on my paper. On one side, I write, what are their pain points? On the other side, I'm already thinking, because many of us have already experienced most things. All of us have experienced some sort of the pain points that people come up with at some point in our lives. So we can relate to almost anything. And I literally, one by one, when they're done talking, tell them, I know exactly how you feel. I used to feel that way when X, Y, and Z. And I have found that, and something, Beachbody, sometimes, guys, it's just personal development. And I'm okay with that. So that's one of the things that I was much more intentional about. Social media, I think it started when Christy and Monica did that boot camp thing that I realized, like, holy crap, I suck. I thought that I had to be one of those Kardashians, just like talking about my life all day long with no intention whatsoever with my posts. Or I was constantly just posting about my workout video every single day, the exact same thing, nothing. So yes, I was showing consistency, but honestly, I love how Christy says, so what? What was my intention behind each and every post? And that goes with Instagram stories as well as my posts. Again, since I'm introverted, it's really hard. I'm an open book. You ask me any question, I'll answer pretty much, even embarrassing questions. But for me to come and dig deep in my feelings and share with people, I don't think that way. So that took me a bit of time to research really on social media and how to really share your story. I love, Christy, again, I know I keep using your name, but you talk a lot about just tell a story. And that's something that I've really tried to make a big shift. However, that being said, I strongly suggest, highly recommend, be you. It may work for somebody else. And a perfect example is, so many of us use Google Forms, right? And so we start a conversation, we send them a Google form. Google form and emails do not work for me. I have to put them on the phone. I have to actually talk to them. I do ask them a few questions. It has to be short, quick, and after a little bit of going back and forth, and I always finish with a, hey, do you have 2 minutes tomorrow to talk real quick so I can share with you some options? That's something that I needed to do. That was, I find, different than the things that I've been watching other people do. What else did I talk about? Yes, I definitely talked a lot more about the opportunity, and I was not a Kardashian. I was definitely not a Julian Michaels. However, something I did have to do with social media was I had to find out what my expertise was. And I did that by asking the people that know and love me, the closest people to me. And I basically just asked them, what if there was one thing that, man, Fran has a knack in? If there's one thing that you're like, man, that's something right up Fran's alley, what would that be? And between my husband, my very best friend, my sister, my good friend, everybody's like, Fran, you're always talking about raising your kids. I'm always like this every time. So anytime I can, I don't really talk about so much about my workouts, although I will talk a little bit about that. I talk about raising kids. I'm very honest. I, learn by making mistakes, and I'm very honest with my mistakes, but my kids are now 18 and 20, and knock on wood so far, because, they're still young. I've got good kids. And yes, like I said, there's some of it that's, nature, but there's some of that that's nurture that I feel my husband and I have done a pretty good job. We've reflected a lot. We've constantly self-corrected, and we still do. So that's something I share a lot on social media, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. So you find your expertise, not necessarily something that you got your bachelor's, your master's, or whatever certification in. What is it that people tend to turn to you for? Energy was also huge. I not only drink even more than when I work out. But when I'm talking to people, I try to make, when I'm posting, when I sit on my couch, I make sure that I'm sitting up, that I've drank my Energize, and I try to really get my energy up and think about what is it that I'm posting for that week, and just my words in my posts. And I also do a lot of, I know we do a lot of personal development. I do a lot of business development. But not just business development in terms of ideas, but I will listen to a podcast, and I just try to listen to just one little thing, whether it's from Melanie Mitro, whether it's from the National Wake Up Call, whether it's from anybody. I sometimes go into the Beachbody Champions, and if I see that, you know what, I'm kind of bored with what I've been doing with my challenge groups, I literally type in challenge groups in the Beachbody Champions and then just pick something to listen to. To listen to in my car. I find that that's huge. Last but not least, it's kind of silly, but FOMO. The thing that I think attracted me the most to Beachbody, whether it was working out together or even this business, it was FOMO. I love the energy of everyone around me. I love the friendships. Even though I'm quiet, I like to be there. I don't want to miss anything. And so that's a big thing that we've been doing in my team, and Amy and really all of us. We've been trying to get together more. We are so great in doing team trainings. We're so great in answering questions in social media, but I just want to, even though I'm not a touchy-feely person, I want you there. I want to have a conversation. I want to have a drink. I want to have a happy hour. I want to work out with you. So as often as I can, even though obviously several of us are not in Miami, as often as I can, we do get together. And even when I put this last round of coaches, any brand new coach, I put them together in a little pod. I make them best friends, either through, the group chat or even on a text message. Anytime I do a little training, instead of one person, I do the three of them. So they really get to know each other and really give them opportunities for them. This particular one, God or Nadia, Angie, I put them all in a pod and they became really good friends. Nothing made me happier than watching them post about each other because they were getting together. So that really helped in the push. When it came to that luck, the little luck that I talked about earlier, yes, you guys, I've been consistent. I have always said that, if we're on a treadmill, you may be faster than me, you may be stronger with me, but damn, I am the freaking most stubborn ass person you have ever met. I am not coming off unless I die. I promise you're going to fall off that treadmill before I do. And so that, honestly, that is the fruits of my labor. Was there a little bit of luck? Yes. However, if it wasn't for that base that I had created, that consistency, that work ethic, that show up no matter what, I don't think that luck would have really developed into anything. And so just be open to those things. If there's one thing I can tell you on this call is when I get off this call is please take some time and reflect, be honest with yourself. There are plenty of things that we can do to improve, right? Because we're humans. We all make mistakes. I'm the queen of it. But one thing that I really wrap my arms around and my head around is I make failure my teacher. I'm not afraid to fail. Am I embarrassed? Do I have a hard time? Do I get pissed? Yes. But I make sure that I've learned something from each and everything, and then it becomes my teacher and not the one thing that drowns me. And so make failure your teacher. That's it.
Oh, I love you, Fran. It's like when you were like, well, when you asked your family and friends, like, what were you really, really good and passionate about? I wrote it. I said parenting because you're amazing. You're just an amazing.
Thank you.
I feel blessed that, Beachbody introduced us to each other. I know Becky feels very strongly about that too. So does Monica. And I'm just so proud of you and happy for your success and how you just laid it out there. Nothing that you shared today was this like new invention that Fran came up with.
No.
Damn consistency and tweaking. And like you said, I wrote it down, course correcting. I think a lot of times people will get stubborn in a way because maybe that's how it used to be, right? It used to be easy to do it this way, and things change. And in the environment that we are in, things change now like a lot, and we have to get comfortable with that change. But I have a question for you. Well, a few questions. So to get to 5-star diamond, let's be real here. We have some new coaches on. We have some coaches that are in that emerald, like shooting for diamond. Some of our, I see a bunch of our leaders because they always show up to all these calls, right? That's why they're leaders. You had to develop 5 diamonds
Mm-hmm.
to get to 5-star. One of them is your secondary business center, I would assume. I think I saw that on
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about, what did you do to inspire? I know you talked about the threads, but anything in particular to get, because, even in my business, there's always that frustrating piece of how do we get coaches to take that step forward and continue to take the steps forward to build their business. So what was that difference maker for you with your team?
Definitely, like I said, the pods, putting them together because around the same time I was listening to Bob Helig, our little small team was listening to a lot of his podcasts, and he said, you expect the most out of them, but you hope for the best, but you expect the worst. Treat every coach as if they're going to be your next $1 million maker, but expect them to quit any minute now. And so, there's a little bit of a balance between over bombarding them with stuff, because at the end of the day, I had to really simplify. I am the queen of overcomplicating things. I love systems, but God forbid I have a system for everything. And I can see how when I was just sharing my systems, you were like, whoa, okay, I thought this was going to be that I could do this in an hour or two. I didn't realize I was going to need 6 hours in the day. And so Bob Helig really gave us like an idea of a sheet. And he's like, everything that you need to get done in your business should be able to fit on that one sheet. And you have to really analyze how important is it. And the truth is, it's really just inviting. It's building relationships. Like everything else is just, yes, that's great. Post on social media. Okay, that's beautiful. But it does not have to be this huge ordeal that we tend to make it. And so the moment I think I simplified it, the moment I gave them, I talk a lot about relationships because that's something that I even have a hard thing. That I'm not a touchy-feely kind of person. But Bob Helig talks a lot about making deposits with relationships. And he's always talking about it's not so much as you do things for others, knowing very well that someday you're going to want it back. But those people that the moment you see them, they are just so good at putting deposits into your bank account. They lift you up. That comes natural to them. And for some of us, I'm a hard ass. I mean, you want to know, you really want my opinion, I'm going to tell you exactly the way it is. And my husband's probably pinching me like, Fran, you needed to have used your filter a little bit. And so I have to practice, just being a little more sensitive, just putting more deposits, doing something for someone, not because I'm selfish, but just doing things for others with expecting absolutely nothing in return. And it's not only been a lesson for me, but just yesterday I was talking to my son. I'm like, look, you and I are the same. We need to learn about deposits. You know what I mean? So when it came to starting these brand new coaches, and they happened to have started at around the same time, I was much more open to where do you want to take this? Really, this is a very simple, I didn't say easy, but a very simple business. And holding their hand a little bit, but more importantly, like creating that camaraderie so that they don't feel like they're on their own. And so when somebody was feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, the other one's like, no, come on, let's do it together. We'll do a power hour every day together. So that, although I kind of started that, I can't take credit. This is a team sport, guys. I did not do this by myself. It was the right time, the right people. Yes, I created that base, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that rised up to the occasion.
Right. That's awesome. And congratulations to them too, because many
Absolutely.
of them were new diamonds during this qualification period, which
100%.
fantastic. So next question is, you mentioned getting to leadership, and which is my favorite event of the year. I hope we have a lot of new leaders coming to leadership. It's always amazing, and this year it's in Scottsdale, which is like pinch me. It's one of my favorite.
I'm dying.
No. And by the way, just so you know, we're gonna spend some time in Sedona. So if you guys are on this call and you're like, that seems too far-fetched, it's not. You just have to double down. And so wait, so summit deadline passed, right? You will be recognized as a new 5-star diamond at Summit, which is amazing. But for many of us, we passed that deadline to get that Summit recognition this year. You can obviously work towards it next year, and that's what we do. We just keep working, right? We don't do it for the walking on the stage. We do it for what it represents to the team and the vision that you're trying to share with those people on your team, right? But we still have leadership to qualify for. And then let's take it to February when we have new leadership conference. You went to that too, didn't you?
Yep.
So can you touch on that? Like now we're looking at leadership. Now we're looking at new leader. And what would you suggest for people, everybody on this call, and those who are going to listen to this call, to start really getting intentional about those goals?
So I was blessed, like I mentioned earlier, to have gone to my first leadership retreat. It was in Las Vegas, and I was a guest, because when you become a 5-star, there's certain, obviously, qualifications. You can actually invite either your spouse or someone on your team that also has to qualify, but not as hard as, 5-star. And I was her guest. And what I loved about this leadership conference, yes, Vegas is nice, that's great, but you are surrounded by a very small knit group, all 5-star elite people. So I was sitting on the poolside ordering whatever next to Melanie Micho and Kim Fitzpatrick and Jamie. And so I really used that time as, Fran, yes, of course I want to develop a relationship, but Fran, stop seeing like you're seeing stars, and use this to your benefit, and ask them, just be specific. If they're really good about social media, then ask them something about social, like something personal to me in my business, ask them for their advice. And so I really spent a lot of the leadership conference doing that. After I got past the Starstruck Summit is great. It is such an amazing time to get together with your team. And I love Summit. But man, this leadership retreat, like you actually get to relax, you have downtime, you really get to connect with people. Like I said, I was right next to Kim Fitzpatrick, and listen, if I could, I would have had my notebook and forget my margarita. I was like, okay, so tell me a little more. I was like, I am that nerd. I am the one that sits in the front of the classroom and like writes everything down. So you're lucky I wasn't like secretly recording her. Jamie Fitzpatrick too, even advice from my husband, because guys, I don't know about you, but I love what we do, and I can live, breathe, drink, sleep, and wake up thinking about Beachbody. So I was like, how do I handle my husband? And man, such nice people, just really great. They're so happy to share with you, and it was just great connecting. So to me, and then of course, the moment they mentioned Arizona, Sedona, I was like, listen to me. You're lucky I didn't buy my ticket just to like really force myself to reach that, you know what I mean? That level so I can get there. That to me was the carrot.
That's awesome. And you went to New Leader Conference, and that is 1-star diamond.
Right. Well, back when I did it, it was 2-star.
Okay, that's right. And then they brought it down to 1-star.
Yeah.
How was that? Just, because I really want our team to say, I'm going to be there.
Yes.
Be there and just draw the line in the sand and do it. So talk to us a little bit about New Leader, because that is, yes, we got to start thinking about that. If you're a coach right now, you need to get to diamond. You need to build that 1 diamond, which for a lot of people is going to be a spouse account. That's fine, but get there, because it's what you learn at these events that changes the game. I truly believe that this business is built event to event. Breakthrough at an event.
100%. Right? That and energize.
This business, that's a good one. We should make sure this business is made event to event because of the breakthroughs you have. You personally get to another level every time you attend, right? Your mindset gets to another level. I know that's how my business was built. Absolutely. It was just summit to leadership, to just keep getting there so that I can keep growing, keep learning, keep figuring out how to take it to the next level. So New Leader Conference was likely a game changer for you. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. Again, I still adore her, Melanie Micho, but I was just starstruck I think around that time when you reach 1 to 2 star is around that time that you have really been giving everything you've got to your business and have been a little more intentional. And that's around that time is when I was having difficulty with balance. You know what I mean? And I loved, those were the little tweaks. Melanie Mitra was there, of course, and she spoke about how she breaks up her month and how she breaks up her day and how she shares her calendar with her family. And although I may not do exactly what she does, it reminded me the reason why I was doing this, which was my family. I loved those very specific tips. She talked a lot about, you know, when a plane it goes to lift off, and if you just take that plane just 1 degree off course, you can be in a completely different part of the entire world. And how our business is just that. It's usually just 1 degree off to where, you know, we want to go. And so in these types of events, to me, again, yes, great information, but man, your energy is everything. And so your energy is constantly being filled with not only being around people, but with great information, with excitement, because guys, we have to be excited about this business. If you're not having a good time, don't get me wrong, I hate freaking, what is it? Becky was talking about the QuickBooks. But if you're not having a good time, like, you're doing something wrong. You need to go back and find something that you love to do and really pour into that. But these events, the New Leadership Conference, it's just those people that qualified at that time with you. So again, it's a small, close-knit type of conference. You have a table, you know, you feel like, you know, like for real here, CEOs, you know, you've got little notebooks, cute goodie bags with great information, with packets, with, like, it's a lot more intentional, a lot more individualized. So I felt I got so much more out of those than those very large general type of events that are great, but I felt that these were much more intentional at that moment. I don't know if that makes sense. At the 1 star, 2 star, you know, point in my business.
Awesome. So we're hopeful, because it's going to be the first time that at Summit this year they broke up the tracks.
Yes, that's why I'm so excited.
Yeah, to see if that really helps, you know, change the dynamic for all the different levels of coaches, from coach and emeralds and rubies to then the diamond and 1 star group, and then, you know, the leadership 2 track, which is above that. So hopefully that does that, and also paints, you know, that goal for you guys to start being intentional about leadership, about NLC, and of course next Summit, because did you blink and it is almost July? Did you blink and it is almost July? Like, think about that, you guys, how quickly the life is going. So you have to really double down. And I think, Fran, thank you so much. You did such a freaking awesome job at really, I think, you know, one of the most important things is reminding ourselves, and Fran did a good job of this, is reminding us that number one, we're in control, right? We're in control. We're in control of our business. We're in control of our income. We're in control of our activity level, of our personal development, of all those things. So that's awesome. It's awesome reassurance that, man, I can do this, right? It's me. I can do this. And then the second thing is that it's not very difficult to grow this business. I think overcomplicate it in our heads a lot. And yes, there's like a lot of stuff going on, and then the easiest thing to do is retreat. But if we all get better at leaning in instead of retreating, you guys, you could be leading this cause a 5-star diamond right now. The people that get there, like Fran, and she just shared that, the people that get to 5-star, even 2-star and above, are the ones that despite everything that is going to happen in our lives, because it is just going to happen. That's life. You know, we can't run away from that. We can't avoid that. We keep going. Fran, I don't want to cry. I don't want to make you cry. But when you lost your dad, like, fuck,
it was everything.
She kept going because this is important. And guess what? It was important to her dad. He loved that she was a coach, and she kept going. And now she's celebrating an amazing accomplishment with her team because she simply leaned in. And instead of run away when times get hard and where things get hard, and just like this month sucks crap, but we're leaning in. We lean in and we got the job done. I want you guys to get the job done too. So Fran, I love you.
I love you too, my friend.
This was a gem of a call. I hope everybody shares this call with your teams, and let's do this, you guys. Let's have more coaches advancing their businesses, earning more money, and having a damn good time with this business. All right, you guys, love you. Love all of you. I'll share the recording as soon as it's up. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.